Hey, y'all, and welcome to the longest running poker space. I'm the original queen of spaces, the first lady of poker spaces, the original female OG of spaces, all true and yet all a troll. Uh, Tyler, are you there?
I am Sherry. How you doing?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good. Just actually playing some poker here, getting ready for the series while we do this. So
I love it. Absolutely love it. I have been, when I start a space, I don't know if you're familiar with the workings of what happens when somebody's hosting, but I'm trying to send out, the reason I don't start talking right away is because I'm trying to send out invites and DMs to get the space going. And it just is a lot to get it going at the very beginning. And hopefully one day Elon will tweak the system, as they say. But I want to also welcome Exec Deck and Isaac to the panel. Please say hello to Tyler, guys.
What's going on, man?
Hey, Tyler, how's it going?
good, good. Glad to be on here and talking with y'all. And I mean, yeah, it's fine with these spaces. I know how they go. Um, I was trying to do spaces myself for a little bit, like a year ago or whenever they first came out. And yeah, sometimes you don't get a big crowd right away, but they're recorded and people listen later. Or if they just see someone's in talking, they'll just pop in and other people see it, and hopefully it kind of snowballs, right?
100%. And I'm going to be real honest with you. When I started, hosting, and Brian and I hosted together, we said we didn't care if we had two people in the space, 200 or 2,000, because we just enjoyed doing it. Like, we love poker. We love talking about poker. And some days we have 5 people, and some days we have 50, and some days we have 200 or 300. And we're good. Like, we're good. But I also wanted to introduce you. ASG joined us now. Welcome, ASG.
Hello, how are you?
Hey,
I'm
she.
Go ahead, Tyler.
Sorry, I didn't know who we.
Yeah, me either. It's okay. It is not a problem. Let me make a few announcements and then we're going to hit the ground running. First, please be reminded you can find the recordings of my past spaces and interviews on my YouTube channel at Sherry Pluskota 9212. Please subscribe. It is free of charge. Also, Operation Poker Quilt for Charity is underway. For those that don't know, I took my poker t-shirts and turned them into a quilt that we are going to be raffling off. And all you have to do is make a tax-deductible donation via the link that's in a QR code at the top of my Twitter page, so to speak. And it's a $10 donation for one entry. $25 donation will get you 5 entries to win that amazing poker quilt. And of course, as you guys know or may not know, I have been getting some signatures on each square of the quilt of people that are associated with that square. So, like the WSOP square so far has Mike the Mouth, and it has Jeff Pratt and or Platt, sorry, and also has why can't the third name come to mind? Anyway, I'm going to keep moving. And Matt Savage has signed it, and Alan Kessler. I have a Kessler T-shirt on there, so he signed that T-shirt. So it's pretty cool. If you haven't seen it yet, we'll get some pictures posted. Also, happy belated birthday to my friend Isaac, otherwise Asimov here in the space. Happy belated birthday, pal. I hope it was fantastic.
Absolutely, absolutely. It was everything and more.
I
Whole lot
love
of
it.
fun. We had a space last night, free roll after that. Yeah, just good times. A lot of love,
A-
but I
And
appreciate that.
I,
Thank you.
well, absolutely. And I hate I missed the space in the game, but I'm telling you, I was up like at 3 o'clock the morning before, and my eyes were closing at 9:30 last night, let alone trying to get to your 11 o'clock space and game. But I hate I missed, but I'm sure it was a blast with the gang. So, and that's the Green Visor Gang for anybody that's wondering who the gang is. Let me go ahead and introduce our special guest tonight. I'm so happy that Tyler Phillips is joining us tonight. In his younger days, Tyler graduated from the University of North Carolina. Sorry he didn't pick a better school, but it's okay.
At
After
Charlotte, at Charlotte.
at,
I didn't go to the Tar Heels. Trust me, I'm not a Tar Heel fan. But yeah, so I went to UNC Charlotte.
I
Yep.
love it. I love the clarification. Uh, After which he built a business on Amazon before becoming a full-time poker player. And we're going to dive into all that here in a minute. Tyler has a total live earnings on the Hendon Mob for over 1.8 million. His best live cash just being over, excuse me, $220,000 for his second place finish in the $1,700 Cherokee main event back in November of 2022. Tyler's first Hendon Mob entry was in 2013 for his first place finish in the win $225 weekly for nearly 10K. He has 168 entries listed on the mob. Out of those, 36 are top five finishes, which means 21% of the time Tyler finishes in the top five of the tournaments. Very impressive. So, Tyler, I'm so glad you agreed to join us this evening. I've been looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you having me. And just for clarification, that biggest cash was actually last summer. It's not the Hendon Mob doesn't put mystery bounties correctly in there. So I actually cashed for 242K at the win this past summer, and then Cherokee was second. But yeah, that I was more proud of the win one for sure, since I actually won it versus getting second to Donovan Dean over there in Cherokee.
Well, and I'm glad for the clarification. And it's kind of surprising that they don't include the bounties, even if they're in a separate column, right? That's interesting. I guess I never even thought about that, whether or not bounties were included in the Hendon Mob entries. So thank you for that clarification. How'd you get started in poker? I find your story a little bit interesting, but I'm sure many of our listeners don't know what your story is. So, how'd you get into poker?
Yeah, so I'm 34, and when the moneymaker, boom happened, I was, I think, 12 years old, and my brother and I, we were both watching ESPN, classic stories, saw him win. My parents bought us a poker set, and we found Full Tilt and Poker Stars and a few other sites, at the time. Um, Even being underage, we were still able to find a way to play for real money using like, free bankrolls and kind of putting our age on there. They weren't too strict back then. Putting
Well,
our
and
age
I
on there
found
that
that
we were.
I found that very interesting that you and your brother were way, like, I'm not even talking a year underage, but way underage,
Oh
and found a way to play.
yeah, yeah. It's kind of interesting. When I was actually 16, I final tabled the 750K guaranteed on Full Tilt, and the actually interesting thing about that, I'm not going to out him, but you could find it online. There's actually a player now who's won multiple bracelets, really good, who was also 16 at the time that was at that final table. So there were two 16-year-olds at the final table of the Full Tilt Sunday 750K guaranteed with like
Unbelievable.
120K up top.
So, were you sweating at any point in time as you made your way to that final table? Like, oh my gosh, I'm underage. Am I going to get busted? What am I going to do? Like, did you sweat that at all?
No, not really. I mean,
Interesting.
I didn't even view I guess I didn't even view the money as real then, because it's not like I was relying on it for, my own income.
Right. Right.
I was literally the type of kid who would just if I had a 10K in my account, I would go play 25-50. Like, it's and I would always go bust, and it was just I always found a way. The games were so easy back then that you could just constantly run up the free bankrolls and
Right.
then lose them and then just do it all again. And that was like the cycle I had for a very long time. Never actually cared about bankroll management or anything like that. Nowadays, obviously, it's different. I have a family, and I've matured, but it was actually a really good experience for me because you're constantly playing, the best players.
And did I read somewhere or hear somewhere that you were actually staked into that Full Tilt tournament?
Yeah, so I was actually backed, like when I was 16. So I was backed for
That's an
tournaments.
amazing story.
Yeah, by the same guy who was actually backing my brother. So my brother, I'm sure you saw his results. He's won 2 WSOP bracelets, and a European Poker Tour event, and it all happened in such a short period for him. Like, he became, I think he was top 25 in the world for online poker on Pocket Fives, back
Right.
before Black Friday, and then within a 3-year period, he had those 2 WSOP bracelets and the EPT. It was just an easy transition, and now he's just out of poker, and yeah, he just kind of disappeared from the game.
You have 3 circuit rings, right?
Correct.
And do you remember? The reason I'm asking you this question is, I find it interesting at the answers I get from my guests for this question. Do you remember who you were heads up with in each of those instances?
Um, yeah, I do. Yeah, because they were such. I mean, they were meaningful ones for me. Like the first one
Right.
was they've all been in Cherokee. I don't really travel much for WSOP's circuit, and that's one thing when people see like my my Hendon, pretty much all the bigger scores are at Cherokee. And
Right.
so the first ring I won, it was just so meaningful because I kind of just gotten into live poker. I actually, do you know the Venom tournament
Yep.
on ACR? So the
Mhm.
first Venom they ever ran, I got 13th in, and it was like 1.2 million for first. I was chip leader with like 20 people left, and that was like a week that or like a few weeks before, I won my
So
circuit
the
ring.
so the first ring was July of 2019. It was the $400 no limit tournament at Cherokee. And who was your heads up?
Well, his nickname's Dragon. I know that
Right.
because I still see him around.
Yep.
So yeah,
Ludnick. Ludnick.
yes, yeah, Ludnick, yeah, and then I think he's like a guy from Atlanta, kind of just a recreational player, but he was tough because he was just so sticky. I still remember the final table. It was just such a big experience, and my brother was actually up in Cherokee for that one, and he got to watch me win. My first ring, which was really cool because
Very cool.
when he won his bracelets, I was just and the EPT, I was sweating online, not there in person, being underage, but yeah, it was just a cool experience. I remember it still like it was yesterday. Still remember some of the hands. Um, it wasn't even like a very like easy final table for a $400 tournament. Like David Jackson was at the final table, if you know who
I
he
do.
is.
Yep, I
Yeah, and
do.
then a few other like good circuit reg types. But yeah, it was a really cool
And I'm
experience
I'm
winning
going to
that.
tell you something. I'm very excited that you remembered that because more times than not, my guests don't remember who they were heads up with. And I really think I contributed to that, just the excitement of the moment,
Yeah.
that once they won it, it was like everything else is a blur, you know? And so I'm like, I promise you, if when I win my first bracelet or even ring, so, I'm going to remember who I was heads up with.
Yeah, I mean, I have a weird memory too where I can like put myself in the moment in like when I look back on these situations and kind of
Right.
think about um how I even like felt in that moment. I think that kind of helps me with my poker. Just
I
remembering
love that.
situations and how things like happened, and yeah, and
Now
just kind
you
of putting in the moment.
Well, I'm going to brag about you some more because you won your other 2 rings in 2025, a PLO 8 or better and the Monster Stack. And I'm going to tell you, I was, I tell people I stalk them, right? Because I have to research you. So I feel like I'm stalking you so I can come up with things to ask you, right? And
Yeah, yeah.
so one of the things I read on your Twitter feed, I'm pretty sure it was, that for 2025 you finished up like 340K, and read something in that thread that you posted that you contribute some of your success last year because you got glasses, you were drinking less, and you lost 40 pounds. So you felt like all that helped with your mental focus. So which one of those three things probably helped you the most with getting mentally focused the most?
Yeah,
What was the biggest change?
I would say probably like losing the weight. Honestly, yeah, and like that kind of, the drinking and it was never like a problem, the drinking, but even if
Right,
you go and you go to a casino and you play poker and by the end of the night you're just a little stressed out, you go get a couple drinks, it all adds up, right? To like
right,
just bad habits. And so I think like, yeah, like not even not eating as much, not really drinking, just kind of going back to the room, going to sleep, all of that kind of helps you in the moment
right.
the next day. So yeah, I think that's the biggest contributing factor. I mean, I also ran really well last year, but I think I played pretty well too.
Well, and you speak. I came across a video um interview you did with Pat Moore. Wasn't it with Pat Moore?
Yeah, Pat Moore.
Yeah, Pat Moore. I'm horrible with names, so I always try to double check to make sure I'm saying the correct name, as my audience can tell you. Um, and we know Pat Moore because he used to hang out with us here in Spaces, so we enjoy his content and him as a person for sure. And you spoke about how you believe in going on a heater or people that go on heaters in the world of poker. So, what was your best heater?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely this past summer. I mean, yeah, like last year, I finished up, 340K profit live or whatever. But when I went home for a 10-day period during summer, so like the whole summer is just kind of crazy. It's not even like realistic to have the kind of, to have an expectation of ever doing that again. But yeah, I went out. I final tabled the 1108 at the Win, like the first tournament I played out there in Vegas, and that was supposed to just be like a warm up. And
I love
then
it.
I decided to play the 7 card stud 1500. Like just I had sold a package to all these tournaments during summer, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna play the 1500 stud on my own because it's not a tournament that I feel like I can sell action for and feel like I'm doing anybody justice, right? Because I
Right,
haven't really played that game specifically that much, except in a mix, like a horse mix. And so I decided I'd play that, and sorry, 1 second.
sure.
My daughter's coming up. She's 3.
No, it's okay. No worries.
So yeah, so I decided I'd play that. I final tabled that, and I got third.
I love
And yeah, it just like, I was just playing in the moment, kind of figuring things out. I could feel myself getting more confident and better throughout the tournament, versus how the tournament started, just seeing how other people played hands and kind of incorporating that, into my game. Because I was kind of that new at like that game where things just kind of were clicking every hand when I saw somebody do something.
Right.
And then the very next tournament, it was the same thing with the no limit deuce to 7. I was like, guys, I know I sold a package, and I know I just final tabled this one that wasn't on the package, but look, I don't know how to play this game really. I'm kind of like going to learn in the moment on this.
Right. Baptism
And
by fire.
exactly. And so the very next tournament, I get sixth in the no limit deuce to 7 at the World Series. So yeah, and so then I go home and I go on this like huge heater where I win 100K in that 10-day period or over 100K in that 10-day period that I was home just online, and most of it was on Club
That's
WPT
insane,
Gold.
Tyler.
I know it was ridiculous, yeah. And then I go back out to the World Series, and I end up winning the win mystery bounty for the 242K all on my own dime. So it was just like it was crazy. The tournaments that I sold action to, I didn't do well, and the tournaments that I had myself, like I just won. Like it was I felt bad, but it was just kind of just
that's
all ridiculous with how the heater went.
that's so crazy when you think about it, isn't it?
It is.
Because you also want to take care of your stakers and do well for them, so they'll want to come back again. And didn't you final table like 3 circuit opening tournaments in 1 year or something?
Yeah, that honestly was one of my favorite accomplishments that I've done like personally, because it's just so like the math behind it is just so ridiculous. Where the fields were, like a 2,500 person field, a 2,700 person field, and like a 3,000 person field, and
Unbelievable.
it was all three of them at Cherokee, all in the same year, 2019. Yeah, final table to all of them. I think I got first, fourth, and like seventh.
Good for you, dude. Good for you. I think that's just, it's so interesting just to listen to because those stats and those numbers, like you said, are, it's unrealistic. Like you can't set those goals, they just happen. You're in the right place at the right time, playing the right poker, and good for you.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I've got
good
plenty
for
of
you.
I've got some people who they're not haters, but they're friends that are poker players and are like, and I try to tell them about variance and how I don't believe it exists in live poker, and they're like, yeah, you've just been running so good. I like it's not realistic. You just don't know you don't know what running bad is, and I don't know, maybe it's true, but I'm happy, I'm blessed, I guess.
I know that's right. I know that's right. Ride the wave, Tyler.
Yeah,
Ride
exactly.
the wave. Um, I'm sorry. I just got a little gnat or something flew into my eye. Okay, awesome. Okay. Here in Spaces, I kind of captain a team of folks, and we do the ODB Baker Fantasy Team. There's a group of us that do it together. So tell us why we should pick you as our wild card.
Yeah, so I have been playing all the games the past year on Phenom, and I put in a lot of time into playing in the Kessler Club,
Yep,
um, and really I'm just focused on trying to win a bracelet. So I'm going to be playing every single day. Uh, I've been getting coaching from Chris Vitch and Ryan Honig as of late. I don't know if you know those two names, but both bracelet winners. So yeah, I've been putting in as much work as I possibly could to get ready for the series, and I feel really confident compared to last year. There was like a lot of low hanging fruit. Somehow I was still finding a way to win in these games with making lots of mistakes, and I think getting a coach and finding some low hanging fruit and getting just tightening everything up a little bit really is going to help me a lot this series.
give us an example of one low hanging fruit.
Yeah, so in Deuce to Seven Triple Draw, I have good instincts on like playing aggressive and playing back at people, getting them to try to break, like things like that. And in a tournament setting, it's good because you can accumulate a lot of chips by playing aggressive. But I was also just opening way too wide in full ring games. That was probably like my biggest leak.
Got it.
And I learned most of these mix games by listening to Dylan Lindy's Mastering Mix Games. So I was literally trying to do everything by the book, like literally. And
Right.
uh, I guess a lot of this stuff is just generalized information because you can't really give perfect strategy in an audio book or where there's like a chapter on each game, right?
Right.
So you start having little leaks, and um, like they're not obvious to you until someone who's really really good at the game points them out and says, "Hey, this is a problem," you know.
Right. And you
And
identify, right, as you develop your own style and game plan.
exactly, exactly. So, like I said, it's nice that I was still able to find a way to make it work for me.
Right.
Like, but now that I've had the coaching, I feel like those I'm gonna try to incorporate the tightening up, but also the aggression. So everything should just feel easier.
Nice. Now, you mentioned that your eye is on the prize for a bracelet this summer. Do you have any other poker goals?
Um, just to not lose money, I guess. I it's I yeah, I'm just excited for the series in general. I invested a lot of action, like buying a lot of action into people, and I think it's just a really good time of year where you're gonna have a lot of variance in terms of realizing your EV of buying people and your own EV. But
Right.
if you do it enough, then you're gonna be able to make a lot of money during the summer if you pick the right people. And so yeah, I'm just excited for summer, and I guess my poker goals extend beyond just myself, like making sure that I'm picking the right people, backing the right
Right.
people, all that. And yeah.
Okay, I know you put about 136K package together. Is it all sold out?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really being so it's interesting. I was gonna go and I was gonna play on just completely on my own this summer, and maybe
Right.
sell for some of the 10Ks. And then last minute I was kind of like, this is like if things go bad, this could be like a pretty painful. So I'll sell some. And so I've just kind of been relaxed about it, and I put it on poker stake. I've sold 12.5% to people privately, and then I think there's 15 to 20% of all the 1500s available on poker stake. If it sells out, great. If it doesn't, I'm fine just playing on my own for those.
Right. Well, I'm going to tell you that here in spaces, or at least in my space, I always tell players that if you're selling action, you're more than welcome to stop in anytime and tell us what you got. And we have definitely gotten quite a few player stakings and stakers and backers. So feel free to stop in. We start our daily show on May the 25th at noon Eastern. It'll be 9 a.m. Vegas time. We'll be here every day for 53 days. So if you have something come up, you want to come and tell us and brag about how you're doing, or know someone else that has a staking package and you're trying to help them, definitely always feel free to stop by. We'd love to hear how your summer is going.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And yeah, that's like buying and selling action is pretty near and dear to my heart, because that's kind of how I was able to even start playing live. Really, that first tournament that I won, the first ring, that was from a package that I had put together and sold
Right.
50% of. So I think people underestimate how good it is, even if they think that they have a huge edge in the field, to sell action at markup and reduce their variance a lot. And that's really, for the first few years of my live poker career, I had a lot of people who believed in me and just constantly bought. And it, really helped me. So yeah, no, I appreciate it.
I could not agree more, and you are more than welcome. I noticed that you tweeted about a 7 card stud book that you had purchased in beginning of May, and you were asking your audience, so to speak, on Twitter if anybody had read that book. Now that it's in your possession, what do you think of that book?
Yeah, it's interesting. I've gotten through the first few chapters, and then I started doing started getting more into just like the newer material online, watching videos and getting coaching and whatnot. But I think it's always beneficial to read
Right.
just the fundamentals of a game. Even some of the games like Gus Hansen. I don't know if you ever heard of this book, Gus Hansen, Every Hand Revealed. It's from the Aussie Millions in like 2007 or something. But if you read that book today and then you went and played a $400 tournament at Cherokee, you would have better results from implementing the information in that book versus trying to study GTO today.
Well, and I appreciate you saying that because I know there's a place for GTO and I, am aware of it and I've looked at it, but it just doesn't fit my style of poker. And I also think it's being oversold to the detriment, I think, for some people, because they're not even playing at the stakes level, in my opinion, where that really becomes a necessary tool in the toolbox. But anyway, that's my personal opinion.
Yeah, no, I think it has its place. I think if you're going to be playing,
Yes.
I think if you're going to be playing like over $1,500 tournaments at the series, then
Yes.
you're going to want to understand what other people are, what other information, people know. I did a lot of studying for like a 2 year period, and that was pretty much it for No Limit for me. And I think it gave me, like, I'm talking like from a GTO wizard
Right.
perspective, but
Right.
I think it gave me a really good idea of, okay, this is what's going on in this hand and this is why this person did this,
Yes,
versus me just being completely lost on, what someone's thinking. So I
I
think it's
agree.
really beneficial. And even if you just watch videos of people explaining spots versus you getting in and doing it yourself and running the sims and all that, it's still beneficial. So there is a place for it, but
Absolutely.
yeah, I think it's more fun to just play good poker and from your own mind.
I could not agree more. And guess what? If not you, but if, my listeners, if you love GTO, hey, go for it. It's like anything in life. Whatever fits your needs and you're happy doing, do it. Like do it. If you love GTO, God bless you, enjoy. It's not that I don't like it, it just doesn't fit my game. I'm not a robot player. Let me just say that. I'm just
Yeah,
not.
yeah,
I'm
for sure.
just, I'm not a robot player. But okay, let's talk about the thing that really caught my attention. And I was like, I have to have Tyler on for an interview. Um, because I think that you've developed a tool that is going to be very useful for a lot of people. And I do a lot of perusing social media and articles and vlogs and, podcasts and whatever. And honestly, I'd never even heard of your app until right before I messaged you about coming on for an interview. And it's really because I found out about your app and I was like, I think other people need to know about it. So you built an app called BinkBook. Can you explain to our listeners what BinkBook could do for them?
Yeah, so it's a really simple idea, but basically in the corner of my office, I'm looking at it right now. I have a file cabinet with just years of poker receipts. And the smart thing would have been to take a picture of the receipt at the time and just never have kept the actual physical copy, right? But
Right,
just sitting down at the table and taking a picture and then putting it in a spreadsheet or something like that. Poker players are lazy, so I kind of did this with my own, thinking about my own self and the people that I know in poker. What this app actually does, it's very simple functionality. You basically take a picture of the app, of the receipt within the app, and it takes all of the data off of the receipt, so you don't have to plug anything in. It's able just to read the image and it puts it into a database, and then at the end of the year, you can just get a PDF or an Excel file of all of your tournaments that you've played. And when the tournament's over, you enter in the cash amount. But
right,
then it's done. It's in the database. There's a picture of the receipt for record, and at that point, you don't have to worry about losing the receipt. You don't have to worry about missing, a write off of any sort, because it's expensive. If you miss a seventeen
right,
hundred dollar receipt and you have a winning year, that could be $400 of write offs that you miss, when you could have just paid $5 a month or whatever, and had an app to do it for you. So I did it really with my own problems in mind, and I'm not like pushing it out to try to get a ton of people to use it. If word of mouth gets out and people want to use it, then that's great. Anybody that I stake or that I am buying action of, like I'm kind of asking them to use it. Just easy proof of receipts, all of that. And I actually built a function within it. I reached out to Poker Stake and he seemed a little bit interested, but I think they're going a different route with the way they're automating their stuff in the future anyway. But basically, if you have a backer and you need to be able to take a receipt of your, or take a picture of your receipt and send it to your backer, now they have access to that in the app. If you there's a control
nice.
there's a control function that basically says, like, this player's linked to this person, and when they upload the receipt, they can choose, okay, this is for Tyler's stable, and then I have my own admin portal that shows my horses and their receipts that they've uploaded and their results, so it's easy for me to track. And so I
Very
thought,
nice.
yeah, and the way that Poker Stake, is doing it now is you send a message to Josh Aryeh in WhatsApp, and with your result, and then he's got to go through all the WhatsApp messages and try to make sure he doesn't miss anything and close those out manually. So that was kind of like why I built that feature, and it's not going to be used by them, but I think it could be useful in the future to somebody who does have a stable, or if, maybe I'll reach out to State Kings or another site like that.
And I think you're right. I think there's going to be good use for that app. And, a player can see what their ROI is, their profit loss by venue, monthly, yearly summaries. So, it has a lot to offer. So kudos to you for coming up with that. And, it's, what do they say? The mother of invention is, isn't it the need? How do they say that? I don't remember. But anyway, um, you know, you came up with a solver for your problem, and I love that. So kudos to you.
I appreciate
What was your absolutely? What was your degree from college?
it. Finance. Yeah, finance. So
Nice.
I learned, but I'm a self learner where AI
Sure.
nowadays is, if you know how to use AI as a tool to help you do these kind of like coding things and projects, it's so they just make it so easy to be able to build anything you want to build. So that's what I was focused on for a
Right.
little bit, trying to figure out how to do that. And
Good for you.
yeah,
I mean, honestly, good for you. So tell our listeners how they can find BinkBook.
yeah. So if you just go to binkbook.app and sign up, you actually can get free. You can get a free 10 scans per month. So if you don't play that many tournaments, then you don't even need to buy a paid subscription. You can just upload your receipt, have your free account, and track your results that way, or manually enter them if you want to. But
Nice.
yeah, it's just an easy way to track everything.
And if you go behind the paywall, isn't it up to 100 tournaments per month?
Correct. Yes, because there is a cost. The reason I did that is because
Sure.
there is a cost to the AI, like,
Storage.
yeah,
Yeah.
the storage, and every photo that's taken. Basically, it uses an API to an AI program that reads all that data off the receipts. So it's like, a penny or two per picture. So I didn't want somebody to just get in there and just take a million pictures and then me just look at my bill and be like, what is going on? So I had to put
Understandably
some
so.
limits.
Understandably so, for sure. All right. Do you have any pre-tournament rituals? Like, do you hum a tune? Do you dance in your hotel room? What do you do before a tournament?
Yeah, I mean, well, if I'm in Vegas, I always get up. I don't sleep in. No matter what time I go to bed, I'm just like, I'm up by 6 or 7. It's kind of awful, but I think it has something to do with, me having kids now, and I have a 3-year-old and a
Right.
3-month-old. So when I'm in Vegas, I get up early. I always go get a coffee and I just walk up and down the strip and just kind of get my day started there. And what's funny is, if I'm day two of like a big tournament or something, and I'm just not nervous, but have some of those feelings.
Sure.
I actually like to just like gamble a little bit, not big, but just gamble like a little bit, just kind of relax. And
So, what's your game of choice?
like if I'm just sitting down and playing for a little bit, I'll just put a couple $100 in bubble craps and just put like
Okay.
$5 or $10 across and just sit there and just like try to run it up. And if I lose, walk away. But it's just like a fun thing I do sometimes. Is
A nice distraction
I
before you
would
hit the tournament.
yeah, I wouldn't call it a ritual, but I would say that that's like, if I want to just do something before I play,
Right.
then and I'm bored and I'm in Vegas, that's what I'll do.
Do you carry a backpack?
Not anymore. I use like a fanny pack as like a crossbody type thing, and that's
Sure.
that's just what I use now. Yeah.
What would we find interesting in that fanny pack or crossbody? What's in it?
Probably nothing. Just headphones, a charger, and some extra cash, and that's pretty much it. Nothing crazy.
Okay, so no protein bars?
And I'm sometimes before the tournament starts, I'll have one, or during the tournament, but Yeah, I think the only odd thing that I have on me during the tournaments, and this just started last year, I like to wear a neck fan now. I really find that it like it keeps me calm, it keeps me relaxed, just having a little bit of breeze like while I play, if that
Oh,
makes sense,
interesting.
and like
No,
just kind of some white noise.
I,
Um, yeah,
I just bought a little folding handheld fan, like it's sitting right next to me. It arrived from Amazon, or no, it may have been TikTok shop. So I find it funny that you said a little fan, because I literally am going to be adding this fan to my backpack.
nice.
Because there are, especially if you're up in those the rooms on the second floor, the air conditioning's horrible there. And so, and everybody's packed in there like sardines. So that is a room that would definitely, you would benefit as a player having a little fan. So
Yeah.
I appreciate you bringing that up, because here when we do our daily spaces for the WSOP, we always discuss what should we bring in our backpack. So a fan is going to be added to the list, I
Yeah,
believe.
the neck fans specifically that kind of like just sit on your neck,
Clip
like
on.
wrap
Yeah.
around those. Yeah, it definitely has some added benefits.
I love it. I love it. I'm going to go around the horn here and see if any of my fellow speakers and co-hosts have any questions or comments for you. So, Exec Deck, I'm going to start with you, buddy. And sometimes they're off doing something. He's still showing as a speaker. So, um, go ahead, bud.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, go
Sorry.
ahead, buddy.
Okay, yeah, I'm rugging big time. But thanks for your time. It was very interesting to hear you talk. So appreciate you coming up. And Sherry, thanks for putting on the space as usual.
Well,
Hope
thank
everybody's
you.
doing great.
Thank you, buddy.
I just wanted to ask about your app a little bit more. You, can you explain access and stuff like that? Because I really like to get into tracking stuff a little bit further.
Yeah, like I said, if you just go to binkbook.app and then you click start free, just make an account with your name, email, password. There's a paywall where if you want more than 10 uploads a month, then I think it was $5.99 is what I set it at. I need to look.
It's $6.99.
$6.99. Yeah, that's okay. $6.99. So yeah, $6.99 for 100 uploads a month. Um, and it's very simple, very self-explanatory. You can put it as an app on your phone. It's not in the app store, but you can make it where you go to the website from your phone, you click share, and then you click add to home screen, and it works just like an app would work. So you just take a picture with your camera within the app. It parses all the data, automatically puts it to where it's in like a running state for the tournament. And then when you're done with the tournament, you just put the cash amount, or you didn't cash, and then that's it. I mean, there's going to be other features eventually. Right now, I mean, it really doesn't need to be complicated, in my opinion. There's a dashboard to where you can go see your results and filter things. So like filter by dates, filter by buy-ins, all of that, and then export that data based on your filters. So if you want to see for like a specific year or specific month how you did, uh, you can do that. But that's pretty much it. I mean, it's very simple.
Uh-oh, he may have rugged. Are you still there, Exec?
I think I'm back.
There you are. Go
I
ahead, buddy.
rebooted the whole thing, but thanks for your answer. Did you say
Bink,
binkball.app?
no, binkbook.app.
Binkbook.app. Great. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm checking into it.
Awesome. Yeah,
Thanks.
thanks.
And we'll see you at the WSOP. I'm going for to start event number 1. Hopefully
Let's
pull in this 3
go.
million bounty.
Let's
Nice. Good
go.
luck. Good luck. Hopefully you don't see
Thanks.
me in any no limit tournaments this summer. I'll mix, but I might be in there.
All
I
right.
have a
Good luck
feeling
to
you'll
you
play
too.
one or
Thanks.
two.
Yeah, one or two. But
Thanks, Exec Deck. Appreciate you. ASG, do you have any questions or comments, buddy?
Yeah, I think you said you like have a stable of your own. So um, you know, people such as myself always like are like kind of clueless of, what makes somebody like. How do you know somebody's a good investment, especially when they charge markup? How do you know what amount of markup makes them no longer a good ROI? Like it seems impossible to figure out.
Yeah, luckily I have a pretty good network of players that are I consider good poker players, and I'm able to talk with them and hey, do you know this person? Like, what's their game like? What are their results like? And that's kind of how I figured out if someone's a good investment. And a lot of the people I've just played with that I invest in, most of the time, it's more about is the person trustworthy or not. There's a lot of good winning poker players that I just would never buy action of because I'm not 100% sure I would get paid if I bought action of them. And in terms of actually staking somebody and creating like a long-term relationship, I've probably backed, I don't even know, like 15 to 20 people over the last 5 years, 5, 6 years, like full-time staking deals. Um, and at most, I think we were backing 8 people at once when I had a partner uh, doing it. But yeah, I look for people who are kind of self-starters. I don't want to do any coaching. I don't, because that's just like, I don't really study No Limit myself nowadays. It's more of just playing. And um, so I'm looking for people who are doing that work on their own and younger. I know it's bad to say, but like, don't have any kids, like stuff like that, that just, I don't want if I'm backing somebody, I want it to be fully like they want to be a professional poker player. They want to be there every day grinding. They want to work on their game. And that's kind of how I found, horses that I've backed.
Okay, and then also relating to backing, and feel free to say like not my place to answer this kind of question, but a lot of stuff with Maurice Hawkins has come up, and he owes his previous backer money for expenses or whatnot, legal judgment, whatever. But it seems like nobody is really even outing, much less saying that his current backers have any obligation to pay the guy who owes him previously. And I always thought that was like part of a backing deal. So do you have any opinions on that, or of like paying your previous backer before you start backing?
You're saying like, I guess for Maurice's example, are you saying that the backer should be getting like Maurice's current backer should be getting involved?
Yeah, that they
And
should be paying off Garcia before they start backing Maurice for any tournament.
it's funny because actually Randy buys my action, so he's a good guy. I know Randy. Um, Personally, no, I don't think. And as much as if Randy heard this, he might be upset that I'm saying this, but this is just the way the business works. I don't think whoever's backing Maurice now has any obligation to pay Randy. Um, I think it's 100% between Randy and Maurice. That's just how I would treat every situation. Now, the person that's backing somebody like that now, why would they back that person? Like that's just my opinion. That's a totally different conversation of is it ethically correct to back somebody who's done all this bad behavior with somebody else? And for me, I wouldn't even get myself into that situation working with somebody like that.
Have
So
you, I'm going to ask the elephant in the room. Have you ever backed Maurice?
no, I've known from my start of getting involved in backing and
Right.
buying action that he was not somebody that I wanted to do business with.
Okay, yeah, thanks. That's fine. Yeah, I just always thought it was like the quote unquote rule that if you start backing somebody and they were previously backed by somebody, that you kind of had to like deal with them first before you start backing this person. That's what I was asking. Okay, but
That's only in a situation where there's a buyout. If like I think so that the Randy's situation happened to what 2021 21 22.
Yeah.
So a lot of time has passed, and I don't think there should be any obligation from somebody else to cover somebody's debts. Like he's like there's just it's
that's
just
fair.
you don't
I was
you just don't want to cross, you just don't want to like cross the line in situations and have bad blood, even more bad blood between people and all of that. So I've had people come to me before and say, hey, this person owes me money. And I say, hey, look, I can talk to them, but I'm not getting involved in the situation. Like I'm paying this person their money that, they made if they invested in me or something like that. And then now, they have that money. So you go talk to them and you get that money back. But in terms of me saying, oh, well, I know the full story, because maybe I don't know the full story. But if I try to say, hey, I know the full story and you owe this guy money, I'm just going to pay him on your behalf. I think that just creates another negative relationship.
Okay,
I
that's
don't
fair.
think it's fair to the. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, ASG.
That's fair. I was just going to move on to another question.
Go right
So
ahead.
if you wanted something to add there.
No, go ahead. Go right
Okay,
ahead.
and then let's say either you and somebody you backed or two people you backed were at a final table. Do you think the other people at the table should know about that situation?
Yeah, sure. I mean, because really, that's happened online, I'm sure, multiple times. But yeah, there's never been a situation where I feel like, because the horses don't get any benefit from the other horse winning, right? They're in it for themselves. So it's not like there's a group. The way I back, at least, there's not a group incentive, right? It's me and the horse, and that's it. There's no like, you get 10% of this guy's winnings, right? Unless they
Right.
decided to swap on their own. But sure, I think it's fine to disclose that information, or if you made it required, then I think that's good too.
Yeah, it's more like you and them, or like I wasn't sure if that might affect like a deal being made or anything like that. But you do have a point with that if it's two people you back, that it's not really anything going on.
Oh yeah, if it was me and another horse, yeah, that would be. I mean, it's definitely always in your mind when you're in that situation. Especially in online tournaments, you're like, you're like, wow, I know I should make this call, but I know it's so like negative EV in the grand scheme of this whole situation. Where if I knock this person out, it's just awful. Even if I were to get his stack, like it's just awful to knock him out in terms of the amount of equity you two have both being in the tournament versus combining into one stack and that person being eliminated in, seventh or eighth place or whatever. So I definitely understand that. But yeah, at the end of the day, I've been in the game long enough where I just don't even, I don't base my decisions on like the highest EV for the stake. I just base it on, okay, if someone were to look at this tape, would they think this was out of line that I folded here? You know what I mean? Like I'm just, in my mind, I'm playing normal, if that makes sense.
Uh-oh. ASG, did we lose you, buddy? Spaces has really gone to the crapper the last month with the changes. Yep, we lost him. He'll be back.
No worries.
Isaac, are you there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, any questions or comments for Tyler? You cut out. Isaac,
And
say it again, buddy.
I said y'all said enough. All good. I've just had a great time listening, and I think AFG's requested.
Okay, I thought I brought him up again. ASG, I'm going to remove you from the co-host, and then we're going to try to just bring you up as a speaker and see if that works. ASG, are you there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm back again. I could hear you. I guess guys stopped hearing me. I got a little Wi-Fi issue, I guess.
No worries. Did you have anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah. Is what's his now? Is Josh Aria hitting that wheel, the luckiest / unluckiest for the other guy thing in the history of poker?
oh yeah, that I think about that hand a lot. Yeah, that was a crazy one. It has to be, right? Because everything had to line up perfectly with the fact that he had to make a straight in order to break his 7-6, and then end up drawing to a wheel versus I think he was just drawing to a 7-6, right? And then he ended up making the gut shot, and then the sequence of events too that it had to happen. Like I thought about this the other day actually, was like, if he caught the deuce, he's pat with a 7-6 that's like a number 3 or whatever. But instead he caught the 6 first, like, or if, I'm sorry, if he caught the deuce, then the 6. Instead, it went the other way where he had to break the straight and then he made the wheel. It's just so insane how the whole sequence of events occurred, because you don't get that in any other game, right? Like, he was drawing dead basically, and then all of a sudden he has to change his draw. Is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, and then you throw in, that it's, what was it, top 3, top 4, whatever it was at the time.
Yeah, yeah. No, it has to be the worst beat in poker history, like, by far. Because there's no situation in No Limit Hold'em, where you're all in and there's still cards to come, and you're like, yes, you can be drawing dead on the flop, but like, there's no like situation where you're 0.1% to win in No Limit Hold'em, with the way that every single thing had to work out for him.
Hey, did you guys clear that that's the worst beat in the world or in history with Kessler? Come
What,
on.
did he not agree with that?
No, he always says he's got, today's worst beat. He always
Oh yeah.
claims he's got the worst beat.
Yeah,
So
no, that one was insane.
I'm gonna just say that, in the movie Beetlejuice, if you said Beetlejuice's name 3 times, they appear. Tonight, I only said Brian's name once, and lo and behold, here he appears. Welcome, Brian.
Welcome, welcome. Yeah, I was just talking to somebody yesterday about Kessler, and and I didn't know their opinion of him, and they were like, "Yeah, f that guy,"
Oh
because
no.
he decided to come up after one of my tournaments and tell my backer,
Uh
this and
oh.
that. And I was like, "Why do you invest?" I was like, "Oh my gosh, that sounds so much like Kessler."
Well, and we love Kessler here in Spaces, so I'm not dogging him at all. I'm just kind of making
No,
a joke,
I love
for sure.
Kessler too. I think that, like, even with that stuff, I'm always telling people, like, dude, yeah, go talk to the guy or whatever. But like, I don't know. He's like
Well,
the brother that you always had,
yeah,
like that.
or the
Okay,
uncle.
he does some things that some people get angry at, and they're justified. But all in all, I think he's got a good heart. So,
Absolutely. Well, please meet Tyler, Brian.
good to meet you, Tyler. How are you
Yeah,
doing?
good. Yeah, just on here talking with Sherry, and hey, I wanted to give a shout out real quick actually before
Sure.
we end. So the person that I'm currently backing is in this chat, and also Matthew Johnson, who I'm buying action of, but Thomas Shepard, honestly one of the best US regs right now. You got to look out for him during the series. Matthew Johnson, he's going to win a ring at the Orleans, 100%. Really good player, but Thomas actually has the biggest score for any horse that I've ever
Nice.
staked. So, and that was only a few weeks ago. So,
Well,
really good.
congratulations, Thomas. And both you, Thomas, and Matthew, you're both welcome to stop in my daily spaces anytime this summer. And if you're pitching for a staking or just want to come update us on how your summer's going in Vegas or whatever, you're always welcome in my spaces. And we certainly can do an interview
No,
sometime.
I need
So.
I need exclusive rights to Thomas and Matt action, because I know they're gonna win. So
Well, and that's
no
okay.
selling
But
action.
but look, they could still come and tell us how they're doing for sure, and maybe we could do an interview. And because I love getting to know some players that I've never met before. So yeah, you guys are always welcome in my spaces for sure. And I'm glad you gave him a shout out, Tyler. I think that says a lot about you.
Oh, sorry. Did you
Brian,
ask your
did
usual rebuy question, Sherry? I might have missed it.
no, I'm getting to it though. But first, I wanted to see if Brian had any questions or comments for Tyler.
Oh no, I was just
Okay,
dropping in and listening, and all is
perfect.
good, my friend. Yeah.
Perfect. I'm glad you have. And now that Isaac has brought it up, I'm going to ask my famous question for the last year or so. Um, what is the most amount of times you've rebought into a live tournament, Tyler?
Oh man. Do flights count, or like just one day?
Um, I guess I guess it could be overall for that tournament. So even if it's 2 or 3 per flight,
Yeah.
you
Yeah, I
know,
think I've been in for like I want to say 12 or 13 bullets in the Cherokee 400 reentry.
okay. And just so you know, like I've been asking this question of my guests because, and it all stems from Cody rebuying in 36 times in that $400 tournament down in Biloxi
Oh,
last
that's
February.
insane.
Okay. And so that's kind of where this question started. And I did interview him after that because I was like, I got to know what like makes this guy tick about these 36, entries and what's his train of thought and whatever. And so I'm going to ask you now if the world of poker was putting a new rule into place and we wanted your input. And we're going to limit the number of rebuys into all the tournaments in the world. How many rebuys do you think players should be allowed to have?
I think it's either unlimited or a freeze out. Like, like the main event being a freeze out is special, right?
Right,
But I think Cody's a good player when he's deep in a tournament,
right.
but I've played with Cody a lot in, these Southeast tournaments where he's all in blind under the gun, just
Well,
in early on in the tournament, just because he wants to build a stack. And I think, that's great for him if he can overcome the EV of all the loss or the negative EV of doing that.
right.
But it's also really good for everybody in the field that he's putting that much money in early. So I don't know.
And it's kind of twofold, right? Because it's also not good for the people in the field if they can only shoot one bullet and they have this maverick at their table, which a majority of those 36 bullets, if not all of them, he was going all in blind.
Yeah.
And And he was allowed sometimes to stay at the same table and have multiple rebuys. So now that table is heavier in chips than a table across
Yeah,
the
you
room.
should have to move.
And so there's a lot of ways to look at this. And what if this is, we got to look at the whole experience. What if this is somebody's first tournament? Is this the table you want them at? I don't think so. They'll never come back. So,
Yeah.
anyway,
I think moving tables should be, a must. I know back in the day when they did rebuys at the table, sure you can stay in your seat, but yeah, nowadays it's a new entry. I don't think you should just be able to stay at the table and kind of
100%.
pile in chips. But I don't think, I mean, you got to think about what poker is. It's a form of gambling, right? I think if somebody wants to gamble, no matter how good or bad they are, how rich, how poor, there's no way that anybody in the poker world should limit somebody on letting them gamble. That's why they're there. So I don't think we should cap anything on that.
Well, and you might be surprised at what Cody's answer was to that question.
Does he? I mean, he'd probably save a lot of money if they capped
He
him.
said,
So
Sherry, as long as they let me do it, I'm going to do it.
yeah,
He said, but in his opinion, and I want to say it was 4 or 5, it was one of the two, that he thought it would be fine to cap it at 4 or 5, that it was unnecessary to allow him to rebuy in 36 times. So he doesn't even think it should be 36.
yeah.
So anyway, I
None of
just
you guys,
found it very fascinating, right?
none of you guys ever played the $11 rebuy back in the day on Stars.
Oh, I played it.
Apparently.
I played it plenty. Yeah, I played it plenty.
I love that. Okay, I'm going to let Barry, I'm going to welcome you, Barry, and introduce you to Tyler and go ahead and comment or question. I'm going to get Burrows up here too. Go ahead, Barry.
Hey, thanks, Sherry. Tyler, nice to see you. Question about your 7 card stud book, if I could. I have
Ye-
that same book.
Oh,
And
nice. Have you read it cover to cover?
probably 25 years ago, who knows?
Yeah.
I just looked inside the first page and the dedication page. There's some handwritten notes, which obviously it's not my handwriting. Now, I don't know, maybe a previous owner, maybe it's the key to life, maybe it tells us where the aliens are. I don't know, but I can't decipher what the hell it is. I could send you a screenshot. Maybe you get a kick out of it. Maybe you can figure it out.
Send me a screenshot. I want to see,
I'll
or put it in the purple pill so everybody can see.
yeah, that's what I'll do now. I'll stick it in the purple pill. Give me a sec.
Awesome. And for those that might not know, the purple pill is down in the bottom right corner, when somebody posts something in the chat, that little area turns purple. So there you go. Now it looks like a purple pill. So the picture will be, if you click on that, will be in that purple pill. Oh, hell, I definitely don't know what the hell that means. Tyler, can you see that? If you click on
Let
the
me see.
purple pill,
You can make out some days like Sunday, Monday,
oh
Tuesday,
yeah,
Wednesday.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
So
Maybe
I
the
don't know.
lottery numbers.
Yeah, you
Those look,
gotta play those numbers somehow. They look
those
like
look pick
It's
threes.
Barry, so
yeah.
I just assume it's people on the sheet.
Yeah, I was thinking that, but there's no names. There's nothing to figure out people's names.
You don't think their code name is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday?
The guy could have been collected for numbers at the game.
That's hilarious.
You never know.
And by the way, I need you to reach out to Cloney for me. We'll get together maybe tomorrow on that. Okay, bud?
All right.
Appreciate you. Did you have any other questions or comments, Barry? Go ahead.
Man, good stuff as usual. Look forward to seeing those mixed game streets at WSOP. I think we played last year, maybe one of the big old events, or the year before.
Oh, nice. Well, yeah. If you see me at your table, just say hey.
Sounds good.
Well, he has a requirement. He always has to send me a picture of him and whoever he meets that we talk to in spaces.
Nice. That's
So
awesome.
he
So I'll
has to
know ahead of
post
time.
it.
Then that's what's going on.
Yep, smile for Sherry. We find it fun to meet folks that we interview or get to know in spaces. So I like to keep that tradition alive because it's fun. Welcome to the speaker panel, Burroughs. How are you, pal?
I'm good. How are you, Sherry?
I'm great, thank you. You have a question or comments for Tyler?
Yeah. Well, actually, yeah. What's up, Barry, ASG, everybody? It's been a while. Yeah, Tyler. I was just curious because I play in a poker game here in South Carolina now, and with a bunch of people, and a lot of people were headed to Cherokee this weekend. What's Are you playing anything this weekend? What's going on there right now?
No, so with the series coming up and me having a wife and 2 kids, I always try to push as much as I can to stay out in Vegas for the whole summer. So I give up on trying to go to Cherokee for the week, even though it's very close to my house. Yeah, so I always skip the May Cherokee series and stay at home and just get ready to go to the world to WSOP. But
That's
yeah,
a circuit Burroughs, circuit
Oh,
series.
okay. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Like, my lady friend was complaining to me about the structure when she was texting me earlier about some tournament she was in. I don't know. I didn't know she was going out there, and I texted her yesterday, and she was like, "On my way to Cherokee." And so, yeah,
Let's see. Yesterday was the ladies' event.
yeah, yep. That's what she
Yeah.
was playing. Yeah.
Yep, that was the ladies' event.
Okay, got you. All right. Well, you're up on it. No, but um, sounds like you're going to have a big summer, Tyler, and good luck and run good. And I'm kind of glad I got on here because it inspired me to reconnect with, I think a lot of you guys know I used to back a lot, and I just got a nice piece of him in the WSOP this summer. So I hadn't talked to him in a while. So, yeah, I'm back on the backing trail, and,
Yay.
yeah.
I'm so
So,
happy to hear that
yeah.
because I know you were going through some crap like everyday
Yeah, yeah.
life, like we all do.
Yeah,
And so
life's a
good for
roller
you.
coaster, so on the down times, this app can be negative
Right.
energy. So I try to avoid it, but yeah, everything's good now. So
I'm glad to hear it, buddy.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
so glad because we certainly have enjoyed many hours in spaces together, talking puppy bowl or football or
yeah,
circa or fantasy, poker league or whatever we talk about. But
yeah.
I'm glad you are joining us tonight, and I hope you come around more often, my friend.
I will, and yeah, good to see you, Barry. Good luck in the WSOP, Barry.
Thank you, bro. Good to see you.
Yeah, sounds good. Yep. Well, yeah.
It's
That's all
getting
I got. Good luck.
exciting.
Good luck this summer, Tyler. And yeah, it was great hearing, about everything you got going on. Thank you.
yeah, thanks. I appreciate it.
You'll never meet a bigger South Carolina fan than that man right there with his little puppy on his picture.
Nice.
Actually, yeah, Sharon, I need to text you this video. You'll find it hilarious. So I'll actually text you
I love
after
it.
this. You'll find this absolutely awesome.
I love it. I cannot wait. I love those special deliveries. It makes my day for sure. Appreciate you, Burrows, for sure. Tyler, is there anything we haven't touched on that you want to touch on?
No, I think we got through a lot. So yeah, I appreciate you having me on and letting me share about BinkBook. And yeah, if anyone does want to buy action of me, it's really easy through Poker Stake to be able to buy, as much as 1%.
And I'm going to tell you, I love Poker Steak, and I really uploaded money on it. I think it's 2 years ago because I'm just curious about things, right? And if I'm going to do these interviews and, so to speak, the talk show, I want to have experience so I can have an educated conversation about something. So I'm like, oh, Poker Steak, let me put some on there and see how this works. Well, I've done really well picking horses on that site, so
That's
I have
awesome.
to. It really is fun too because I always take like 1 or 2%, depending on who it is, maybe 3. And it's just a low budget sweat, right? And I think when I backed Mel Prittard, I think I took 1% of her for like under $20, maybe $16, $17, and won like 700 and something dollars. I'm like, yeah.
That's sick. Yeah.
It's so sick. And of course, one of my favorites to stake is Alan Kessler, because if nothing else, we're going to get in the money. So there you have it. So I'm going to check your staking out, when I see it and see what I can do. ASG, your hands up. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, one of those things we had Matt Savage on recently, and the TDA is
Yep.
coming up soon. So, if you were able to change any rules, would you, and what would it be?
Good question.
I think being able to talk in the hand with your opponent when it's heads up and just kind of having that, old school banter at the table while you're in a hand would make poker more fun, I think, unless it was in an abusive manner, right? There has to be
Right.
a line, but
Right.
being able to talk to somebody and try to get them to do things like with whether it's fold, whether it's call, that's what everyone loved about poker. I think when Daniel Negreanu was in his prime, and those guys talking at the table, Sammy Farha, all of
Hell
that.
yes. When I watch a live feed, I don't want to listen to the people in the booth. I want to listen to the table.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. So
Right?
that's the one rule I
Yeah.
would change.
He always says he thinks there's a limit to what you should say about your hand, but that he's perfectly for banter. So I think he's with you there, actually.
Nice.
Well, I'm going to be talking about dogs at the table, but we're going to save that for another day. Tyler, I like to kind of end the show or toward the end of the show, do rapid fire. Are you familiar with the concept?
Not, no. I kind of just
Okay.
gonna ask a bunch of questions, I guess.
I'm going to give you a couple of choices and you're going to pick one or you can pass.
Okay.
It's pretty easy. Comedic movies or horror movies?
Comedic.
Pizza or burger?
Pizza.
Do the dishes or do the cooking?
The cooking.
Whiskey or beer?
Whiskey.
Mountains or beach?
Man, that one's tough because Cherokee's in the mountains, and that's like my favorite
It's
place.
beautiful. And it is beautiful up there.
Probably the beach.
Gummy bears or Sour Patch Kids?
Sour Patch.
Texting or phone call?
Texting.
Thank you. That was pretty harmless.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Well, I want to give a couple of shout outs. First, Thomas and Matthew, good luck this summer. Glad you stopped by and joined us tonight. And of course, you're always welcome. I see D-Man, Michael, Exec Deck, Isaac, ASG, Burrows, Barry, Brian. Appreciate all of you and everybody that's listening that I haven't shouted out. I appreciate you. or if you're going to be listening at a future time. I appreciate you. Tyler, I wish you all the best, and I hope you do stop by and give us an update or two this summer. We'd love to hear how your summer is going for sure. And it's been a pleasure, my friend.
Yeah, thank you again. And yeah, definitely look forward to giving a good update, hopefully.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we're going to give you the Spaces Run Good so that bracelet becomes a reality this summer. You heard it here first.
Thank you. Yeah, have a good night. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And good night, everybody.